care about?
Gilead doesn't care about children. Gilead cares about power.
It finally looks like The Testaments is coming back for Season 2, and there's already a lot to talk about. But that's not the only reason fans are excited, because the series still feels like a fresh beginning for the world that started with The Handmaid's Tale. Season 1 answered a bunch of big questions, although it also left behind even bigger mysteries that are waiting to be explored. On top of that, there are already rumors floating around about possible secret cameos and surprise appearances that could happen when the story returns. Nothing has been confirmed yet, but it has definitely become one of the biggest talking points among fans. So if those rumors end up being true, Season 2 could have even more shocking moments than the first season. The excitement also comes because shows like this don't arrive very often anymore. Every year there are a bunch of new series competing for attention, although very few manage to build the kind of loyal audience that The Testaments has already created. Streaming platforms release new content almost every week, so it has become much harder for any show to stand out. But this series has continued to pull viewers in, and its audience has only grown as more episodes were released. That growing popularity shows there is still a huge demand for well-written dystopian dramas, and fans seem even hungrier for stories that expand this universe. So, while plenty of new shows keep entering the crowded world of streaming, The Testaments has managed to carve out its own place. Hulu clearly noticed that momentum because it officially renewed The Testaments for Season 2 even before the Season 1 finale was released. That early renewal showed a lot of confidence in the series, and it wasn't difficult to understand why. Since the premiere on April 8th, the audience continued increasing week after week instead of slowing down. By the time Season 1 wrapped up, the show had already become one of Hulu's biggest success stories of the year. So instead of wondering whether another season would happen, fans immediately started asking what comes next for Agnes, Daisy, Becca, and everyone else after that dramatic ending. The streaming numbers explain why Hulu moved so quickly. According to the platform, The Testaments has already reached more than 45 million streaming hours worldwide across Hulu and Disney+. Those numbers continued climbing throughout the season because every new episode attracted even more viewers than the previous one. Episode 8 alone saw a massive jump, with its first-day viewership increasing by 76% compared to the series premiere. That kind of growth is unusual because many shows lose viewers after their opening episodes, but The Testaments kept building momentum instead. The series also earned an impressive 88% certified fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes and stayed near the top of Hulu's top 15 list from the moment it premiered. Those achievements made the Season 2 renewal feel almost inevitable. As for when fans can actually watch the next chapter, they'll have to stay patient. Hulu has confirmed that Season 2 is happening, although an official release date hasn't been announced yet. A production like this requires months of planning, pre-production, filming, visual effects, and post-production, so the next season is not expected to arrive before 2027. That may sound like a long wait, but it also gives the creative team enough time to deliver another carefully made season instead of rushing the process. So while the countdown has already started, viewers shouldn't expect new episodes anytime soon. For anyone just jumping into the story, The Testaments takes place roughly 4 years after the ending of The Handmaid's Tale. Instead of following the same characters throughout every episode, the focus shifts toward a younger generation growing up inside Gilead. These young women have spent their entire lives under the regime because they barely remember or never even experienced the world that existed before Gilead took control. That changes everything because they have been raised to believe the system around them is normal, even though the audience already knows how cruel it really is. As these girls grow older, they slowly realize the future waiting for them is far from the life they actually want. They are expected to follow strict rules, accept arranged marriages, and spend the rest of their lives serving the regime without questioning it. But some of them begin noticing cracks in everything they were taught. Those doubts continue growing, and they eventually start searching for allies who might help them fight back. Some of those allies are completely new characters, while others have connections reaching back to The Handmaid's Tale. That combination allows the series to tell a fresh story while still expanding the larger universe fans already know. One of the biggest figures in the story remains Aunt Lydia, played once again by Ann Dowd. This version of Lydia continues leading the school named after her, where several of the main characters study. Among those students is Agnes Mackenzie, portrayed by Chase Infinity. Agnes is actually Hannah, the daughter of June Osborne and Luke, although she has absolutely no memory of the family she lost as a child. Since Gilead raised her from a young age, she believed everything she had been taught for most of her life. But strange events throughout Season 1 slowly forced her to question the society she trusted, and that internal conflict became one of the show's strongest storylines. Another major character is Daisy, played by Lucy Halliday, although her story turns out to be completely different from Agnes. Early in the season, viewers learn through flashbacks that Daisy grew up in Toronto before tragedy changed everything. Her parents were murdered by Gilead, pushing her toward the resistance movement known as Mayday. Instead of staying safe inside Gilead, Daisy accepts an extremely dangerous mission and secretly enters the country as an undercover operative. Because of that decision, she constantly has to hide who she really is while working alongside people who would immediately execute her if they learn the truth. Helping Daisy carry out that mission is Garth, who secretly works for Mayday despite appearing loyal to Gilead. His position inside the regime makes him incredibly valuable because he can gather information without raising suspicion. The complicated part is that Agnes has developed feelings for him without realizing he's secretly helping the resistance. That creates a complicated emotional situation because Agnes believes she's falling for a loyal guardian, while the audience already knows he has been living a double life the entire time. Season 1 also spent time exploring Aunt Lydia's own past, revealing how she transformed into one of Gilead's most influential figures. Episode 6 finally explained that journey, showing that Lydia once knew Aunt Vidala long before Gilead existed. Back then, Vidala was known as Vivian, and the two women worked together as colleagues. When the new regime demanded complete loyalty, Lydia believed she had to prove herself by executing Vivian. She pulled the trigger because she thought there were real bullets inside the gun. What neither woman realized was that the weapon had actually been unloaded. Even though nobody died during that moment, the emotional damage never disappeared. Their relationship completely shattered, and the bitterness between them continued growing for years while both served inside Gilead. The series also features a large supporting cast that helps bring this complicated world to life. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. And don't forget to like this video, share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to this channel to stay in the loop. And if you want, you can share your thoughts about this video in the comments section down below.